look at the Chargers defense, what's the biggest challenge that they present?
Well, they're an all-around good defense. You know, they're top 10 against the run, top 10 against the pass, top 10 overall. And I think anytime you talk about good defenses, you start with pass rush. And they got two really good ends that get after the quarterback.
Kind of used to that from the AFC West now?
That's kind of that seems to be the MO over there.
What has Ryan Switzer done to play his way into the lineup?
Just be dependable. Be a guy that is where he's supposed to be. Tough little booger. Makes a lot of plays. Gets hit a lot, and you know, but just doesn't make a lot of the same mistakes twice.
Is he still learning? Is there still more he can bring?
Well, you know, he hasn't been here very long. You know, I think you see what guys can do when they've been here for a year, 2 years, whatever. You saw that with Vance a little bit last year. You've seen the growth, and so I think we could keep getting better together as I learn more about him and he learns more about me. But in terms of knowing the offense, I mean, he knows it really well.
There was frustration after the game the other day, but no panic at all, at least from my perspective. Knowing that everything is still out there for you guys with five weeks to go, what's the mindset here?
It's a good perspective because there is no panic. We're just fine. You know, we're spoiled to win 6 in a row, and you know, you always have those good feelings after games, and then you lose one. But you know, it just maybe refocuses you, maybe get you back on track for, you know, what you need is that fourth quarter of the football season, playing your best football. And so that's what we need to do now is really start playing our best.
Is that more important, kind of peaking at the right time than it is the seeding, or how much the seeding? Do you think about seeding?
Well, you know, obviously that the first 2 seeds are important to get that bye, but also doesn't guarantee you, as we know from last year, getting to the championship game. So, you know, we've done it from all the different seeds. So just getting in is the most important, but getting one of those first 2 byes are a big deal. But there's still a handful of games left, so we've still got you know, a lot of games and stuff in front of us that we take care of first.
Ben, does it mean anything to you, or what does it mean to you to be part of that quarterback class and what the 3 of you have accomplished?
That was pretty cool, especially when we get kind of compared to the guys of the 82 class or whatever it was, Marino, Montana, Kelly, Elway, those guys. So, you know, it's pretty neat. All 3 of us still playing, and you know, they've had a lot of success. So it's cool to be a part of it.
Do you follow Rivers much in what he's, you know, done this year?
Yeah, he's an MVP caliber player, and he's playing at MVP level right now. What he did last week was pretty spectacular, 25 in a row. It's hard to follow all the games because he's on the West so much, but it's easy because he's a quarterback to kind of keep track of how he's doing.
What is it like to see a guy who I think he turns 37 in 2 weeks, to see him playing at a high level, knowing that, you know, you guys are in the same class, right, that you're the same age. And,
well, we're not the same age.
Well, that you're playing. You know, does it give you inspiration to want to play at the same high level?
Yeah, 40's the new 30, and you know, it's fun to watch a guy like that play. I mean, you sit there and you say 37, but then you look at guys that are still older than him, Brady, Breeze, that are still playing at a high level too. So, just tells you that if you take care of yourself, you can still be successful later in your career.
What's the secret to that? I mean, not just the taking care of yourself.
For him, probably having 8 kids or whatever he has.
but as far as do you feel like in a lot of ways that the game gets easier as you get older because you've seen everything?
Well, not everything. I saw something new last game that ended the game for the first time. But yes, I know what you're saying. You see a lot. The game does slow down a little bit. You understand your offense. You understand defenses. You've been in different situations, right? You go through wins and losses and highs and lows. So I think all those things kind of factor into that.
How special is it that all 3 of you have done it with one team?
It's pretty rare, right? I mean, you look at some of the guys that have played this long to be on one team. It doesn't happen very often. So I know I'm blessed and lucky to be here and be here my whole career. I'm sure those guys would tell you the same thing.
And does it feel like you have 2 #1 receivers right now in AB and Juju?
No, it feels like we have a bunch of #1 receivers. And I'd put James Conner in there, Vance McDonald, Switz, Jew, AB. So I'll put a lot of them as #1s.
Is AB still your top option in this offense?
Well, a #1's a #1, so I'm going to put all those guys at #1, so I've got a lot of top options.
And do you have concern with James and ball security?
No.
Do you say anything
nope.
to him?
Nope. I'll stop you now. There is no concern. We have all the confidence in the world in him, and we are going to ride with James because he's our guy.
Ben, you and Philip showed us two different ways. He sat for 2 years, and you came in and played right away. Was there any particular way to get it done? Would you have it any other way?
I wouldn't. Like I said, I've been lucky and blessed. His body may feel better because he didn't play those first 2 years, but I don't know. You'd have to. I don't. If you guys talk to him or not, ask him if he would have it any other way. But like I said, I'm fortunate and blessed the way I had it.
And I know you joked last week about being faster as you get older, but I mean, you seem to be more aggressive, maybe tucking and running a little bit than you have been. Is that by design? I know the plays are breaking down; they're not necessarily design calls, but I mean, do you just feel more comfortable maybe doing that than you did even?
You know, I don't know. Truthfully, sometimes it literally is fear. When guys are chasing you, you just find a way to run. But you know, we're not calling like quarterback sweeps and things like that. It truly is just defenses when they give you that 22 man with 2 high safeties and everyone else is manned and they're running with receivers. There's no one really to account for the quarterback. So that's when you have to make the most of your opportunities.
Ben, when you're publicly critical of a teammate, and I know you walk a fine line with that, and I'm guessing you don't do it out of frustration, how do you deal with that? Like when you know when it's time to give a guy a pat on the back or to give him a little bit of a nudge?
Well, being around for a long time, dealing with a lot of different players, you know, you have to know how to motivate different guys in different ways, and I think that's part of being a leader, being a captain, just understanding players. And so sometimes you just grab them off to the side, and sometimes you have to be honest with them. And so I think that I've earned the right to be able to do that with as long as I've been here, and you know, and I'll be just as critical on myself as well in front of you guys as well.
Two more guys.
What's your approach to how players in the locker room might receive those kind of things? Like, for instance, if you critique a route or something like that.
Go ask them. I have no idea. You'll have to ask them. I would hope that they would understand that as the quarterback and the captain that I have the right to do those things. I don't feel like I abuse that situation. So you know, I don't think there's an issue. But you have to ask them.
Last one. Then the timeout before the 3rd and 3, and then you guys came out of the timeout and there was an interception.
The first interception? Are we talking about or the end?
One, yeah.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
It was 3rd. You guys had a 7-point lead. You were running the ball, and things looked great. And all of a sudden, timeout, interception. What happened?
Well, we had to call timeout because the play clock was going down. They changed, if I remember correctly, they changed personnel, so we were late getting a substitute in. And so by time, it was loud, so you know, I try to get the line up to the line of scrimmage, and I relay the play to the receivers. By time we broke kind of our mini huddle and got guys lined up, we still had AB was going to motion across. We had a lot going on still. And rather than rush it, and that's, you know, you feel like a critical situation on 3rd down, rather than try and snap it before guys know who's hot, who's blocking. In my opinion, it felt better to take the timeout and talk about it. And then we ended up switching the play to the short side of the field, and that kind of got us into a little bit of a tizzy, and then I just got to make a better throw.